after that meeting on Tuesday, I got sick, so sick, like throwing up sick because of the pain. And then on Wednesday, I got my new glasses on Tuesday, and I overdid it. Because I was like trying to read and I could see the computer and all of that. And then I went on the meeting and stared at the screen the whole time. And so then yesterday I was sick. Was it yesterday? What day are we? Okay, Wednesday I was sick it was Thursday I was sick all day. And then today I do feel a little bit better. I don't think my glasses are 100% yet, but I do take a lot of time to adjust to these things. And it's a prism, like they put this prism in this eye, and it takes time for your brain to let your eye focus. So that it could be that, I'm trying to be hopeful. And then the doctor screwed up my medication. So I was on the phone all morning with the pharmacy and the clinic. And because I was going to have to go through the weekend. That is a long story. I'm not wasting my time or yours with, but it's going to be straightened out. And I can bend like a half bend, like so flat back. But if I go down to my toes, oh boy, the blood rush and everything, I'm just like sick. So I've been doing what I can, but not a lot. So that's pretty much it. I just feel really discouraged because, I was doing like so good.
Wow. And so I just want to point this out, like basically what's going on with you and this attack that you're feeling right now. So one of the things, one of the ways I describe it in me is that I'm climbing a tree, and it's like this whole growth and evolution and everything like that is like climbing the tree. It's like letting me get further and further and further up into the tree. And sometimes it feels like I'm walking out on a limb. I'm walking out on a branch away from the safety of the tree trunk. And, you take a step and you're like, no, look around, you're like, this is good. I feel safe. I got balance. I can reach here and hang on if I need to. But this branch feels like it will hold me. It's all good. And, we take another step. We feel good. Take another step. We feel good. Everything's sort of affirming that we're going in the right direction. And then one step we take, it's almost like that step, for whatever reason, just left us feeling shaky. It's like, I don't know. Like now I'm too far from like comfort. I'm too far from what's familiar. I'm too far from a pattern that I can rely on. I'm too far from my comfort zone. And what happens when we hit that like little bit of tip? Some of us run back to the tree trunk. Some of us run back to the tree trunk, down to the bottom of the tree, and start over.
Yeah.
Some can get to the point where we just take one step backwards and go, okay, I'm just one step backwards. Whew, okay, that was a bit too far for me to go. Like, honestly, I feel like this was just you running back to the tree trunk. Like, this is just you, your whole body, not even consciously, Darlene, because you and I both know that this isn't conscious. This is your going, she's freaking, I don't know what's going on. She's fine. Why is she fine? I don't know. Like, I don't understand what she do. Like, the pattern isn't usual. Like, she's outside of pattern. Yeah. Like, this isn't familiar. This good feeling, this I'm feeling great. This is exciting. It's like your body's like, what do we do with this emotion? I don't know. I haven't seen this one for a long time. Unsure. It's like, oh yeah, unsure. Let's put her back to unsure. We like it there. Whew, we at least know what to do with her when she's.
Yeah.
Because it was like the high was almost too good to be true. So somewhere in there was a little like trigger that went too good to be true. Yeah. Oh, I will prove it to you.
That could be. Because I have noticed in other things that, so I remember telling my friend that is kind of like, we kind of coach each other. We're both coaches. I remember telling her a few years ago that when I start feeling really good, like almost like my heart rate is going up, like it's like, oh man, life is great, that it scares me. So that's what you're saying is, yeah. So, and that actually could be, it's like the fear of the unknown or something, like, well, if I feel good, this good, like what's next? Something else that I noticed in a meditation is that I actually thought and heard the thought that what will I have to do if I'm like 100%,
Yes.
if I'm like living at optimum, like
Yes.
what will I have to to
Well, what will the
what will I be called for?
yeah, what will the universe ask of me?
Yes,
that'll be big. That'll be a lot. And I don't know if I can handle that, right?
exactly. Because I've already been called to some huge endeavors that I ended up doing, even though it was sometimes 2 steps back, 1 step forward. You know what I mean? Like just that whole. So yeah, this makes sense that it could be that.
I honestly, Darlene, like you just articulated it.
Yeah.
Feeling scares me. And what will I have to do if I'm in my power?
Yeah, that's a better way to put it, in my power. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we and Darlene, like frick, the only reason I can explain it to you is because I'm in it, right? Like this happens with me all the time. It's like I bump up against my own glass ceiling that I've created for myself. And sometimes I have like this like good stuff going. It's like I feel like I can go over the glass ceiling. I can stand on top of it. And once I'm standing on top of it, I'm like, oh shit. Whew, I don't know what to do here. Like, how do I get back under the
get down. Totally makes sense. Yeah.
Right. And it's like your body is trying to keep you safe from that feeling of, oh shit, what do I do here? Breathe. Like it's like going, okay. What do you need? You need a headache. Perfect. We'll put you down, want to barf? Right. Okay, good. That is a legit excuse not to have to stand on this spot.
Yeah.
Because if you're right.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is where that whole psychosomatic comes in. It's like, what if this was like not a bad sign? What if you could just right now have compassion for yourself and be like, oh, sweet thing, you're scared of your own strength. And just watch what that new relationship to this symptoms. So when you say, the other thing is look how quickly you said 2 days later, I'm in a flare. I'm in a full-on flare.
Yeah, I was pissed off. I'm pissed. I was so pissed yesterday. Like, because it's been like 10 days now, and like that I've been kind of like coming out and going back and coming out and going back. And just like, okay, I am fucking mad because I am trying harder than most people I know, like, and it just keeps.
Okay, hang on. Let's talk about that. Your comfort, your familiarity, your aptitude, your ways to navigate around pissed and mad. Is it easier for you to be there than it is to be in excited?
No, that's a good question. Geez, that's a really big question. I don't know. But if it is true, if that's the case, then.
But just feel it. Pissed and mad is like almost, there's an external reason. There is, there's an attack happening. There's blame that you can place.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is easier to be pissed and mad than to be in that 100%. Oh my God, I am flying.
Yeah, because like, when you're excited for a second, just go over to excited. It's like, I'm excited. It's like, I don't even know where to land with that emotion because I'm not quite sure what I'm excited about. It's unknown. Yeah. It's like there's this huge void of details and data, and our being likes detail. We like to be able to go, okay, what's the story here? What's going on? Am I safe? Scan for, and if we're in excitement and awe, it's like our body's like, yeah, I don't know. And when we are in, I don't know, we need to capacity. We need to build our capacity to be in I don't know. And it just comes slowly. And then right now your body's just knocked you back down and it's like, whew, I sat in I don't know as long as I could. And it was freaking scary.
That's probably true. Oh man, because like, I remember like when I talked to you the last time, I was so excited. I listened to that call twice. Took notes and all that. And I was just like, I am like going into remission. I can feel it. And I was so like,
Yes.
wow. And then of course all the Christmas stuff happened and everything, and that was great. And then of course real life came back. It was almost immediate.
But
Real life.
but look at your last 6 months. Like you've had, like the last 6 months has been this progression, this growth, this ease, this everything. And it's like, and you're proving these things to yourself. You had Christmas where for sure you weren't 100% with all the little rules, right? And you were still fine. And it was almost
and I related it to when I went to Kelowna. Remember, we used that as a marker because I went on a 10-day vacation. Ate in restaurants quite a bit and drank some wine and some cider and didn't like crash. So I was comparing it to that, like, and I remember talking to you and saying like, it's not the food. It isn't, so yeah, I did think that, like that, this relapse was, this is really making sense.
Well, and like, this is the piece where like, so now let self-compassion come flooding in. Just let it come in. Let it come in and be like, oh, sweet thing. Of course. Like, of course that this is your reaction to this, because I don't know, you can look back on your lifetime and see the pattern probably. Like I usually can back on my lifetime and go, yeah, like, I don't trust that when things are really good, that the other foot's not going to drop, the other shoe's not going to drop. Or I have enough experience of like, no, I don't know if I can trust this. Yeah. And that's life. Like this is, in a way, this is what life's going to do to us. I don't think we're ever going to get to the point, although I found a word today. You know how we always ask ourselves in this course, what do I need right now?
Yeah.
So tapas would be the Ayurveda word that says, like, go into your discipline, go into your toolbox, and then apply something to that question. What do I need right now? And it's the work we're doing. And then I found this word today that is like, if you ask yourself, what do I need right now? And then you go inside and your body's like, nothing, babe, you're perfect exactly the way you are. You don't need to do anything. So it's almost like you bypass the step, bypass the physical action that you need to take for yourself. And you just sit in pure oneness with you.
So being instead of doing.
Yes, but honestly, I always feel like I have to do my way to being.
Oh, same. Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
Because that, like, I don't know, I've been teaching that sentence, like, what do I need right now? And I've never once been able to say there's a step past the question. I've never once even realized that there was one step past the question. This is new to me, where I'm like, there's a step past this question. And that to me feels terrifying.
Right.
What do you think that there's a place where I don't have to physically go pour myself a hot water or just sit for a minute or give myself something? What do you mean there's a place where I'm going to get to maybe one day? Or the invitation to a place where I can say, what do you need right now? And your body goes, nothing. You're perfect just the way you are. What? That's going to happen?
Yeah, totally. And isn't that the goal? Like,
yeah, right.
Just accept, just to be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just having a day, or like whatever. Like, I like the oneness thing. Somebody was telling me about, a meditation where like the breathing is really important for me. And I had stopped. I noticed when we did our list on the checklist on habit 3 on Wednesday, one of the things I thought of after was breathing. I need to do that breathing, and I need to do it several times a day. And I had forgotten it. I'd let it go. And then so she said, start with the breathing and then just I concentrate on that light, that like that spark that's in you, that divine, you know. And I was like, oh my God, like so easy, right? And yet
So honestly,
so easy to forget as well.
it's position of all of this. And I believe what I believe is when my body does this to me. So here's my story in Mexico. Oh my gosh, it's
Oh,
just lovely. We have this gorgeous pattern. You know, it's like yoga, go sit on the beach, watch the light change, come back, do some more yoga, have a gorgeous breakfast, which we didn't make ourselves. Then go do workshop and then have the whole day in the beach by ourselves, like just lovely, good dinner. Like the days were just gorgeous, gorgeous days. I come home, because of the way we left after Christmas, we kind of got out of here on the 26th. There's Christmas baking in my fridge. My house is still decorated. Like I had to spend I was eating like, you know, Christmas crack, and I get snotty and I'm like, oh, like I landed back home almost with this hangover of how good it had been.
oh yeah, the opposite of the other kind of hangover.
Yeah, it was just like this hangover of like, oh, I don't know if things can be that good all the time, Jill, you know?
Yeah, I totally get it. And when you were talking about how tired you were and how much you were sleeping, I thought I've had times like that when I was like overwhelmed or like, you know,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
It's like me catching up with the vulnerability that it took to lead the group and to grin and to hold space. It's like I'm coming home and my body's just like, and that took a lot out of you. I will say, like, the good thing is that it was a softer landing and I recovered faster than previous times. Because previous times, sometimes I like, it's like, whew, 3 days in bed.
Yeah.
Right. And this time it was like naughtiness and an afternoon where I was like, what do I need? You know, when I asked myself what I needed to do, it was get rid of the Christmas baking and take the Christmas tree ornaments down. Done. Okay. What's next? Nothing. Go have a hot tub with your husband, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah, totally makes sense.
what if this is just that?
Well, I think
You
it
know,
is. And
you
it's so funny because it's in true Darlene fashion, when you started saying about the tree trunk and all that, I was like, no, it's not that. You're not listening to me in my head. And then right away, oh God, it is that. Like it was so good. And yeah, I think I did get scared because I don't think it's ever been that good. I don't remember the last time it was like that good, if it ever was that good. You know, because I think before I've more quickly gone back to the tree trunk than this time where I stayed in that for like 6 weeks or something, just like, oh, I can feel it in my gut. I can feel it. I'm healing, embracing a new life without being afraid of my power.
yeah.
You know?
I think honestly, like, and what if this is like, you know, centuries deep?
Yeah.
Like you think about women and their power. I mean,
Oh yeah.
gosh, like what if reclaiming, like we've watched women who try and claim their power in our generation be absolutely persecuted.
Yes.
Know that like generations ago, they were literally burned at the stake or, you know, like we know
Yes.
that there is a persecution of women in power. So when we get there and it scares us, is it even out? Is that even like a personal in my lifetime thing? Or is that just like epigenetics?
Yeah,
Like, is
it's
that
true.
cellular memory of, you know, however long our lineage is?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So maybe we're not just breaking this pattern right now for us, you know, because of something that got said to us when we were 20 or whatever. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
But what if this is just us like facing a fear that has been present for women in our lineage or not
Yeah.
for
Oh,
eons?
totally. And even like books, like my mind is on fire. Like, I've studied the slavery like stuff. I've studied the Civil War, the World War I and II, and the Holocaust. Like, I don't know why I have this interest in this stuff, but when you were talking, I was like, yeah, even the stuff I've read about what happened to women, and as if they weren't people,
Yeah.
like, so yeah, that would go along with being afraid to own my power,
Yeah.
like not
Yeah.
safe, doesn't feel safe.
Yeah. And so is it any wonder we go kicking and screaming back? So couple, like if you're into audiobooks, I don't know if you are, but the ones I've been reading over Christmas have absolutely gobsmacked me. So one of them is Gabor Mate's The Myth of Normal. And he's just talking about how trauma and disease, it's not physical. It all has an emotional, a belief, a trauma behind it somehow.
Yeah.
And
And I know I'm very familiar with his work, because I worked in a seminar company that worked with his work
yeah,
for a few years. And so yeah, I haven't read this book though. So
it,
all of his stuff is based in, my work was based in that, was
yeah,
the emotional,
yes, of
um
course.
belief.
Maybe this is all like your work. Like start thinking of that. There's something
Yeah.
in there like maybe not done.
Yeah.
And that's where
Yeah.
you're a little bit scared too, because you're like, what the hell? What will I have to do if I'm well?
Well, I remember the last time that what I had to do. I
Right.
mean, it was such a huge undertaking, and I did it. So in my mind, I'm going, okay, I did that. I accomplished it. I pushed through everything. What am I afraid of now? Like I did that.
But there was something in that experience that scared the crap out of you. Because there was something in that experience that got you to shut down your psychic power.
Yeah. 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 That's right.
So
Yeah. I'm still not any further ahead with that.
but I go back and I'm like, well, once again, the fear, like you're sitting there going, oh, and if my psychic power comes back, whoa, stop. I'm going to go barf.
True. That's true.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I've had yoga therapy clients where when I sit with them, I talk to them about what I'm going to do and how movement moves things and how we get connected to your emotions and stuff. Like I've literally had yoga therapy clients be like, 1 second, and they get up and go
You go to the
barf.
bathroom.
Like they're barf by me just telling them we're going to talk about your emotions. Like we're going to be in touch with and they're like, their body's going, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. I get it.
So,
Okay.
so if we reframe this that way and we go back and we sit, I want you to go to these sentences that you told me. 2 days later, I'm in a flare, but this is not my fault. This is stress, but I'm throwing up sick. I got new glasses and then I for sure overdid it. Thursday, sick all day. I've also got a doctor that screwed up my medication. I've been dealing with that, straightened it out. I just feel under attack. How does that feel? Hearing that back now.
It feels whiny.
Ah,
The compassion doesn't come easy for me. It's like, oh, you whiner, pull up your bootstraps. But no, it's yeah. I have to work on the compassion part.
yeah.
I guess I have a belief about that too. Like if I have too much self-compassion, I won't move forward. I will just go, oh, let's just get a blanket and watch a nice movie and don't live.
There's a yoga word called discipline, called tapas. And it lives in the company of some other words. So it's kind of like there's 5 steps. There's 5 steps in this process. So the first step is orderliness. And for me, that orderliness is like me coming home and going, okay, I can't do any work until the Christmas baking's dealt with in the Christmas, it's like,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
like that too. Yeah.
get all that crap out of your head. So that's step 1. Step 2 is just contentment. Like, oh, don't be mad. Christmas tree ornaments are up because you were in Mexico for 3 weeks. Like, it's all good, right?
Right.
Number three, this TAPAS word is discipline. So it's what you want and what you're scared of, because without that work, you're just going to be like, oh, I'm perfect just the way I am, and I don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So TAPAS it's having the discipline to know what your highest self needs you to do, and having the self-compassion to know when it's your ego telling you to do it instead.
Oh, yes.
So discipline to do what your highest self needs you to do, but the discernment to know when it's your ego just telling you to do it. So yoga still asks us to have discipline. It's not just curl up in a blanket and everything's fine. It still says action required of you. So the problem with it is that we live in a world that gives lots of check marks and lots of affirmations for action. And so when our ego tells us to do something, action is beautiful. Gabor Mate says he's taken to reading people's obituaries. In the book, he talks about this. He says, and you would like the number of selfless people who gave hours of dedicated time to different charities and hours and just got all these external like validations for what a good person they were, like their whole obituaries, like what an amazing person this person was. And they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because our ego, when we do all the things it tells us that we should do, that's a different voice. And the problem is that you're the only one who can tell the difference.
Yeah, that's right. When I was in my 20s, I took this course, an experiential learning course, and we had to write our own obituaries. And of course, it was supposed to be motivational. It was supposed to be, what do you want to be said about you? And it was really like that checklist, like everybody's was. It was really like, here lies Darlene, we met. She changed the world, like, like this kind of thing. Like, and it was just, everybody was like that. And when you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, like the ego part it's really kind of personal what we do.
Yeah. Some people who I need TAPAS. I need discipline.
Yeah, I do too.
Like my inner voice tells me what to do and I go, I'm not gonna, right? Like I have that talk with my inner voice. Whereas some people are so overly disciplined. It's like how they control themselves is
yeah. And the control word came up for me yesterday too. It was like being sick. So having the flare, it's like being out of control, which I also don't do well with. I want to be in control of my life. And yet it's the not being in so much control that allows all that growth to come in, and therein lies the freedom that I want so badly.
Yeah. Okay. So what if this flare is simply here to burn off some stuff?
Yeah.
Just showing up right now to burn off another layer.
Yeah. Like I love that idea. I can live with the flare about, I actually feel like it's going away in the conversation.
Well, that would be interesting, right? To the idea that you feel like there's this flare, and you say you've said 2 days, but you've also said 10 days. So sometime in the last 10 days to 2 days, you've felt something shifting and changing.
Yes.
And now it's like, let's watch the trajectory. Like, is this a flare that's going to take you down for 3 months? Is this a flare that's like 5 years? Dig in. Or is this a flare that's going to just like gently lift again in the next day or two?
Yeah, that's why I do feel better today. Even my activity level has been better today. The headache is slight. It's not pounding crazy. And so I feel like I'm coming out of it. Like, but I think it's because of the breakthroughs I had, not because of something I did, Like, I think it's because I realized about control and letting go of control. And now, this conversation, which really hit me, like the tree trunk thing really hit me. I didn't think of it that way, like that could be how I go back to safety.
Yeah.
And that's what I said at the beginning when I said, whatever you did in the summer, I want that. And I got it already. Like, that is whatever happened in the summer. It wasn't even the same conversation, but I was able to, okay, I can handle these weddings, and, I did, I got through it, Interesting though, after the first wedding, I got sick for almost 2 months. And then came out of it in time for the second wedding, and then continued to do well after the second wedding, even though there was a few derailments there that I overcame anyway. So there's some improvement. And then
you've had not only the weddings, but then the eye surgery, like crazy.
And that was huge. And they warned me, but even though I told people like, yeah, it might be 2 and 3 months, like, I didn't really believe it. Like, my positive mind was like, I didn't brace myself, like, I was like, no, but I'm gonna be able to tell people, and it didn't even happen, like, but oh boy, yeah, that was a big deal. And it still is.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It still is a big deal. And there's a coping. So here's where we go to OJIS. It's like, you're building your OJIS. You're building that OJIS. And then if we look at the trifecta of OJIS, tapas, and prana, right? Your OJIS is the container. You're building a bigger container, which means the flame, the passion can be a bit bigger. And then the prana comes in to serve it. So you've been like blowing a little bit of air on that little flame. The container getting bigger. Your practice has, the prana is starting to flow in the body. So the flame just got a bit bigger, and you went, whoa,
blow it
out. I don't have any experience with a fire this big. I'm going to put some fire extinguisher right now.
Yeah, totally makes sense. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. I can see it really clearly now. Ran back to the tree trunk, like, just like, nope, don't like this.
Yeah.
Climb down.
Threw some dirt and water on your campfire, because you were like, oh, this fire's getting a bit big. Unruly. It's unruly. I don't know. Like, it's like our power. Fire is too big.
Yeah.
And I think our power is like a fire.
Yeah.
Like, if you unleash the full Jill Novak, if you unleash the full Darlene Wimet, we could freaking burn a forest down.
Yeah. Or more.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, we are afraid of that power.
Yeah, exactly.
Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Yes.
We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I've always been a fan of it, but today I feel like that is exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is kind of scary.
And so
being this healthy, because I quit sugar, like I have done a lot of health things, and every time I get to that point where I'm like pretty much like exactly where I want to be, that's when the struggle really starts.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm afraid to feel that good.
Yeah.
But I didn't really dig into it the same.
Like, if you talk, just tell me, what are your hacks going to be to help you help you do that thing where you only take one step back to safety instead of running to the tree trunk? Like, what could that be?
I think that a reminder, like, to myself, to just say, oh, this is that, but a gentle reminder. This is that thing where I'm afraid of how good I feel, and I want to stop it. Like for me, there's so many ways that I know that I do to stop it. Like, just right now, I'm thinking like, eat some chocolate. That'll stop it. Like.
Me too.
Yeah. Just to say, like, prior to grabbing the chocolate, well, wait a minute, what's the motive here? What's the reason for the chocolate? Because that's what I've been doing this last couple weeks, like, I don't know, one of my friends said, it was a voice text, and she said, well, there's you know what they say, there's a road to life and there's a road to death. And I was like, I don't think I've ever heard that before, right? But I'm like, and that's what I started saying to myself this last few days, like when I want that chocolate, because for me, I tell myself, I just need a pickup because I have such a bad headache, and I like whatever. And then I went, well, you want to take the road to life or the road to death? I'm like, okay, no chocolate. And then but here's the thing I noticed, once I haven't had chocolate for a couple of weeks, then it's on to the next tactic that I use, right? So it's not like, oh, as long as I don't eat chocolate, I'll be fine.
Yeah. You just find a new little sabotage. You just find,
exactly. Yeah. So I think journaling is a really good thing for me to do as well on that. Yeah. When it happens, when I feel like I'm running,
So that self-sabotage then, for me, what if we could celebrate? What if you could celebrate, be like, oh, I'm self-sabotaging. I must have been pretty freaking high if I didn't want to be way up there.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Right? Like, what if we could reframe it for ourselves and be like, holy man, like I got so good, I was scaring the crap out of myself. Right? So that when you fall, it's like, that's the compassion piece. It's like, I'm falling because I got so high that I got scared. And wow, I must have been higher than I've ever been. Like that to me just feels so much more human.
That is such a great idea. It reminds me of when I told you about that meditation when I left my body, and I've never been able to do it again because it's literally, I got so high, I scared myself.
Yes, you did.
And to say that with all of it though.
Yeah, you brought yourself down and you shut it all off and you said, not going there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really, really good one to celebrate it, to say, whoa, wow, I got feeling so great and in my power, I scared the crap out of myself. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Yes, yes, all of that.
Because what is fear really?
Yeah.
Just a feeling.
Yeah. And you know what they say? They say the difference between fear and excitement is breath.
Oh, wow.
So think of it. You're at the top of a cliff. You and your friends are cliff diving into this gorgeous pool of warm aqua blue ocean underneath, and it's gorgeous. It's safe. Everything's gorgeous, but you're jumping from high. Like, stand there and feel scared. Like, you hold your breath. What do you do when you leap? You go and you jump.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you picture yourself standing on the cliff going, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it, you can feel your breath is not working.
Right.
And then yourself, no, damn it, this is going to be fun. And you find excitement. You take a deep breath and you do it. You can feel it even in the story, even when it's not real, you can still feel it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So what if right now, in all of this that's happening in your body, the answer is just breath?
Yeah. And that was one of the things I said, after the meeting on Wednesday night, I was like, that's what I haven't been doing. All of the breathing stuff, the deep breathing and the letting go and breathing and different types of breathing, and that really helps me. That really helps me. Remember when I told you that when I do my stretches, I can feel the inflammation go? Like, it's actually the breathing that does it. It's not the stretches. It's the breathing, because it's not, the inflammation is like insulation. When I breathe and like relax and stuff, I don't need the insulation of the fear because I'm letting it go.
Yeah. And it's like the breath goes in there with its wisdom. And I feel like it's like putting ice melter on ice.
Mhm.
You know, you put an ice and you see how the ice melter just starts to go
Yeah, yeah.
and like melt the
Yeah.
ice. Like I feel like I put breath in and it hits in inflammation, and that's what it does. It just starts to break it apart. Like that's how I picture it in my head.
Yeah, I totally see that. I relate to that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, Darlene, I'm so glad you called.
Me too. But I was like thinking, and that's another shift I've made where I was like, and like, not that it was phony last time, it was 100% like, but I didn't want to tell you I'm struggling, like, because it was like, oh man, like I'm doing really, really good. And now I'm going to say I'm not doing really good. And then I was like, that I want everything I can get out of this, right?
Every email you freaking get from me, book a call with Jill, book a call with Jill, book a call with Jill.
But you know what? This is in my mind, somehow in the beginning, I was like, well, that's not for me. Like she doesn't mean me. Like, it was just like,
I'm excited for you.
I am too.
And
I'm excited for me.
there is another thought. There's another, and I don't know the author of this thought. The single emotion necessary for healing is awe. Every time you are in a state of absolute awe, your body is in a state of 100% healing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Actually, it reminds me of a few things in my life. When I first became a spiritual person, a practicing spiritual person, I came at it like a child, like a 5-year-old, talking to God or whatever you want to call it. I'm not judgmental about that. Like just like, and so excited, like chatter, chatter. And guess what? And this happened, and oh man, it was so cool. And like that was in my early 20s, and that was what started my whole life, what I call my real life.
Yeah.
So I do get the awe thing.
So what if, I feel like even in this conversation, we've touched awe a couple times.
Totally. Yeah.
Like, and when we touch awe, when we get to that point where we're like, it's just the thought that that we've just dropped into our conversation is just like so omnipotent, so powerful. So it's such a possibility. It's so full of infinite, like possibility or whatever invitation, that it's awe inducing. Like it's awe inducing that this has to do with your flare. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it totally is. And I think that's the piece I needed to see, was that, and it's so funny, like how long it took, because like that Kelowna thing that keeps coming up, right? That I thought was so interesting, like so freaking unexpected, was like, I didn't get sick. Like my husband just kept saying, I can't believe how well you're doing. Like we're going out, we're being active every single day. We're eating in restaurants. You're having cider or wine every second night, and you're not sick. And I'm like, I know, like I was just like, and then to relate that to what if a flare is just fear. Now, like realizing right away, like this is like the Kelowna thing, like Christmas and everything. And then I was feeling so good. And then just like, I had time to be afraid because everybody laughed and the house was clean again. Because the first week I spent cleaning the house, and putting away all the Christmas stuff and all of that. And then just like, and I remember even thinking, what am I going to do when like my eyes are fixed and like I don't have, the houses that don't have anything going on? What am I going to do? And that's probably what started it. Like the whole week, oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Okay. So there's another yoga word called dharma, which is what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Right action. So maybe you're ready to start asking that question again. Because I think you haven't let yourself ask that question because you actually know based on past experience that the answer is huge.
Yeah. And even sitting here, I'm like, I don't want to know.
Well,
Like even sitting here, even now after this great conversation, I'm still like, not ready.
yeah. And why don't you have that conversation with the universe? Be like, hey, can I get some sustainability around health and wellness before you throw life purpose at me, please? You know, I
Yeah,
need you.
that's true. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just ask universe to be gentle with you and let you get some sustainability and some belief in this benchmark of wellness before it starts nudging you to do anything. Just ask universe for that.
Okay. Good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I don't have to feel out of control.
No.
You know?
Yeah, like universe, I don't need to feel out of control to not be taking the next step. Can you just let me hover here for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, yeah. Okay.
You need to be sick in order to not take action. It's
Right.
almost that, right? You don't
It
need,
is in a nutshell. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Like give yourself,
in a nutshell, it is. Yeah. To be sick in order to not have to take an action. Because I do get to a point where I'm just like, okay, man, I'm ready to live. Like outside of the bubble, which is my house. Like, you know, well, not really, but kind of.
yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like, can you give yourself permission to not take action, even if you're well? Like even if I'm well, universe, I just want to enjoy that for a while. I just want to enjoy life. I don't want you to be throwing big life curveballs or making me pick up these massive opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. And I think mentally it's reassuring for me, like going, yeah, I don't have to jump right into some big thing because my fear even about that is usually, but what if I get sick again? You know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, it was time for me to move on. So I'm not going to say like my autoimmune is really what caused me to start retirement, right? But I was ready. I was ready to let that part go. Like it just wasn't, there was some things about it that were making me question stuff. And so it's not that, oh, I could just jump right back in. And I have a friend who would.
I was like, oh, so you just manifested a reason to move in the direction that life already needed you to move in.
Yeah, I totally get that. You know, like even to say I need a reason to quit my job, like whether you own the business or not, you know, like I really get that may be what I did, you know. Oh, wow. Really good. Really, really good. I feel like I got exactly what I wanted out of this call.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually love when I saw your name on this. I was like, yeah, because I always know when you and I connect, like juice just flows.
That's awesome. I love it when you say things like that too. It's so encouraging, you know, like just like, but there is something about this program that's so different and so exciting. And it resonates in my heart. Like this is like, because like I've told you before, I've done other things. I've done a lot of other things in the last 5 years. All of them helped to a point, but I never got this far. And I never had that feeling like, oh, because I knew emotionally I needed something. None of those programs had an emotional factor. And I needed something in that way too. And obviously, this is why, you know, because as soon as I start flying high, I'm scared, you know.
Yeah. So this is the missing link, because you have all the physical tools you need. You know, totally. You have the diet tools, you have the movement tools, you've all the programs that you've done before have given you this gorgeous tool set. So you have them for the different layers of your being.
Right.
And now you're adding that spiritual, emotional, like connection to source layer. And that's the layer you're needing.
Yeah, not just that, because I've always been a spiritual person, but that connection to source without the fear part, you know,
Yeah.
like realizing the fear part, saying, well, wait a minute, I see what's going on here. Whereas that part is not, every time I've seen that part, I've just like block, like, nope, I don't want to see that part.
Yeah.
So now I can see it, and I really love this. I did write this down, to celebrate the fear thing, you know, like got so high, I got scared myself, and being
So
like
high.
very
That's so high.
about it. Like, that's hilarious. Yeah, it's almost excited about it. I see you. You're not gonna get me this time. Like, you know, no, I don't need that. So good.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so good. Okay.
Okay.
Love you. Okay.
Well, I love you too. This is like really
I'll
great.
send you the recording.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.